Hello, 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 and welcome. Now, if you are someone out there who thought that Zepbound does not work, I'm going to tell you, you need to listen to this story. I have with me Miss Toy, and Miss Toy used Zepbound to lose over 100 pounds. And we're going to share her story, and she's going to let you know how she got her life back using Zepbound. So, welcome, Miss Toy. How are you?
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. I'm so excited to chat with you today. I have just been watching you blossom and grow over here on YouTube. And I love when you talking to us about basically how to take care of yourself after weight loss, how to maintain and how to do a lot of self-care. So before we get into that, I want to know from you about your background and just how it came to be where you found out about Zepbound, started taking Zepbound, and started your health journey.
Okay. I have been on a diet all my days. And I think for the last 3 years before starting Zepbound, I was in a women's boxing course. I was taking a women's boxing class. I was going there 4 days a week. And I was really giving it my all. I was extremely committed to the process and everything, but I could not tackle the food part. So I would do really well the entire day, and I've shared this on one of my videos, but by the end of the day, I was in the drive-through and I was eating some type of fast food. And so I was not gaining weight at that point, but I couldn't lose anything because I just couldn't get into a calorie deficit to lose any weight. And the food noise was just extremely high in my head. I didn't know what food noise was. I didn't have a name to it until I got into this community to find out what that was. I thought everybody dealt with that. I didn't know that they didn't. And I just felt like, what is the problem? Why can't I lose the weight? And so I would get real depressed about it because I had so much weight to lose. And so after a few years, and I just dropped 20 pounds on my own in 3 years, that was real depressing. And so I decided, you know what? I'm just going to get surgery. My doctors had already introduced surgery to me, but I kept turning them down because I didn't want to do it. And the real reason that is so crazy that I did not want to do surgery is because they told me I could never have an alcohol beverage again. And I mean, I wasn't an alcoholic, but I enjoyed having martinis and stuff like that with my girlfriends. And I was like, I was younger and I said, shoot, I want to still, party and have fun. And so I never did it. I never did it. And so I said finally, like, you know what, Toy, go ahead and have the surgery. So I said I was gonna go ahead and get with a doctor and have the surgery. And I end up coming across a content creator on Instagram. And she was on Weight Watchers just like me, because I've always been on Weight Watchers. I'm still on Weight Watchers to this day. And she was saying she was on Weight Watchers trying to lose 100 pounds and she was having a hard time too. And then she said on her channel that a place called Sequence was doing weight loss medication and she was about to start. And I said, you know what? Maybe I'll give this a try. I had heard of Wegovy or whatever, but I had no interest in doing it. But once she said it, I said, well, you know what? Maybe this will be my last resort. If I can't lose the weight off of here, off of this medication, then I'll have the surgery. So I filled out I did the little survey to see if I was a good candidate, and they told me I was. And then that's when, well, I originally was going to do Wegovy, but it was a shortage and I couldn't get the medication. And so they told me, well, you know what? They put me on metformin, and I was on metformin. I think I lost 1 pound. I lost 1 pound a month when I was on metformin. And so I asked him for a stronger medication, and he said, "You know what? It's a medication that's about to come out called Zepbound. Are you willing to try it?" And I said, "Yes, I'm willing to try it." I didn't know what Wegovy was. I didn't know what Zepbound was. I just was desperate, and I needed to lose some weight. And so I started Zepbound once it came out. I think it came out November of 2023, and I started it December 2023.
Oh, wow. Okay, alright, so you started so that's what is it? Almost 3 years going on now, right? It'll be
Going
going on
on
3
in
years.
my 3rd year.
Alright, so tell us about your first injection. Well, wait a minute, let me ask you, so did you grow up overweight? When did you start to gain weight where it was just uncomfortable and you're like, "I gotta do something about this." Was it over time? Was it as a kid?
As a kid, I was always about 15 to 20 pounds overweight. So I was a chubby kid, but I wasn't big enough that people teased me as a kid. But I always had like a little belly. I was always a little chubby. So once I got to the 5th grade, I wanted to get on a diet. So I was always trying to lose that 15 to 20 pounds, but I was always doing fad diets. So I would lose the 15 to 20 pounds and then I gain it right back. And then I think once I got to high school, I just really started gaining even more weight. And then when I got to college, you know how you gain that first 20 pounds your first year. And then I think I got to a point in my 20s that I just didn't care no more. I was tired of trying to diet, everything else. And that's when the weight really piled up on me. And I got to my heaviest and I tipped the scale a little over 300 pounds. And so then I got on the Atkins diet because, you know, the Atkins diet was a big deal. And I was like, I could eat all the meat that I want. I mean, I was eating sausages, eggs, and I wasn't eating no carbs. And when I tell you that weight was dropping off of me so fast, but then once I got off of it, I gained all that weight back plus some. And so that's why I try to stay away from just being real strict with no carbs because I know once you introduce the carbs, you're gonna gain that weight right back. So I did lose that weight. I lost like 70 something pounds with that, but then I end up gaining all that weight right back. So it's just I think I'll say my entire adult life, I have been overweight. I've been in the twos on up my entire adult life. This has been my first time as an adult being in the 100s.
So I wanna follow up on something you said about the Atkins diet. Now, if the Atkins diet was really working for you, why didn't you stay on that?
The reason I did not stay on the Atkins diet is because I was not doing it correctly. I did not read the entire book. I just knew that you could eat all the meat that you wanted. So I was not getting all my nutrients in. And so my nails started getting real brittle. I wasn't getting enough potassium in. So I started getting leg cramps at night. I just wasn't feeling good. My body wasn't feeling good. And so that's the reason I started introducing carbs back into my life. And I thought that I could do it by myself, kind of like how how we all want to get off the shot and do it ourselves. And I thought, oh, if I get off of it, I could do it. But once I started introducing my body to carbs, I started craving them. And then it just went out of control from there. But I was so scared to get back on the Atkins diet because it was so restrictive. And I knew that I couldn't do that either for the rest of my days. And so that's why I got off the Atkins diet.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, thank you for explaining that. So tell us, and if not for nothing, it reminds me of what we say when you do any kind of health journey, weight loss journey, it has to be sustainable, something that you can continue to do once you even reach your goal. So thank you for that. So take us to that first injection of Zepbound. So you get the Zepbound. Were you nervous about, trying it? Did you see the pen? Were you one of those people that, didn't want to take an injection? What happened on that first injection day?
I was excited. I was excited. I was like, "Oh, this is the answer." In my mind, I was seeing all these content creators. They were like, "I dropped 12 pounds in 1 month." I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna be fine by the summer." I had already had my plans on what I was gonna do for the summer because I knew I was about to be fine. And so I was excited. So what I did was they actually had a video for Eli Lilly, and it was a lady. It was this black lady. She showed you how to take the shot. She showed me the correct way, and it was part of like, I don't know if it was on the box, a website for me to go to. I can't remember, but I know she showed you exactly how to take the injection because people were not showing that on YouTube at the time. And so I watched the video, so I knew how to take it. and I was playing a video as I was taking the injection. I was not afraid at all, and it didn't hurt. And at the time, it didn't hurt because I had a lot of fat on my stomach, and I didn't feel nothing. And I was just like, I was just waiting for it to work. So I was excited. I was not one of those people that was nervous. I was just prayerful and hopeful that this was going to work for me.
Oh, wow. I love that. You were excited. Okay. I don't
Mhm.
think I've heard that before. People were excited to take it. So I love a different perspective. So you took the injection. So what happened? Like, did you start to feel side effects, in the next couple of days? Were you tired? What was going on with that first injection? What did you know it
My
was
side
working?
effects my side effects that I have felt throughout this entire process that I've been on this medication is fatigue. I have fatigue really bad, and I never told anybody that I was on a medication. I never told anybody. And so it was hard for me to explain why I didn't want to go with people on the weekends and everything else because I was exhausted. I mean, it would be times I could not get out of bed. And so I would just tell people I wasn't feeling well. I had it, and they didn't really inquire much more after that. And I would just say, oh, I'm not feeling that well. I'm not up to it. And they had no idea I was on the medication at all. So my biggest side effects was fatigue and constipation. And I was able to figure out how to deal with the constipation. I'm still struggling with the fatigue. I have good days, bad days, even to this day. But yes, the fatigue was the hardest one for me. So yes,
Now, why didn't you tell anybody when you started taking it? Was that a conscious decision
it
because
was.
of something?
It
Okay, now
was, because I was at the point that I knew I needed to do something, and I didn't want people in my ear. And so I know just from living life, whenever you tell somebody what you're doing, and they don't consciously do this to try to steer you the wrong way or tell you not to do it, but they're going to start giving you their opinion. They're going to put their fears on you. And so I know some people thought of look at this medication negatively and didn't know much about it, and I didn't want to hear that because people that you love and respect, even if you are, I feel like I'm a strong minded person. But if you're telling me information about this medication, I'm going to go home and think about it, even when I don't realize I'm thinking about it. And that's going to make me second guess my decision. And I knew that this was something that I wanted to do, I needed to do, because it was things that I was going through that my family didn't know about. I didn't share some of the problems, health problems that I was having. And so because of that, I was like, you know what, Toy, you're gonna have to take care of you. And so you need to do what's best for you. And so I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell anybody. I think I didn't tell anybody until I had been on the medication for almost a year and a half when I finally uh told my sister. And I only told her because she was thinking about getting on the medication. And so I
yeah,
told
I
her.
love that. And I think a lot of people have felt that. And actually, I mean, that's how I operate in everything, big decision that I make, because I love how you said that. That is so true. Even when people don't intend to discourage you, the comments they make, and you're like paying your head. And you may not think like, oh, I'm not listening to what they say, but then that plays back. So I love that. So the best thing to do is, to keep it to yourself until you're ready to share it. So I love that. Now, once you shared it, did you get support? Did people start noticing you were losing?
People noticed I was losing, but I lost slow. So I wasn't losing big numbers like you see some people. I was losing around 6 pounds per month. So because of that, and like I told you before, I was always exercising. I was always on a diet. This is nothing that's new to me. Okay, you guys. And so because of that, everybody knew like Toy always working out. I would be on a social media showing me in my boxing class, doing all the things. So when I started losing weight, people were like, "Oh wow, it's finally working."
Finally working.
Yeah, so they never thought in a million years that I was on this medication. And a lot of people did not know about the medication at that time. Even though you may have thought people knew about it, they did. And so they didn't know about Zepbound. People knew about Ozempic. That's it. I think people still just say Ozempic for everything,
Um,
but they didn't know Zepbound. And so I was losing weight. And so when I finally told people, they saw the results of it. So they couldn't tell me nothing negative about it because they saw that it worked for me. So it was nothing that they could say at that point, and that was the way I wanted it. So regardless of how they felt about it, they saw that it was working for me.
Wow, I love that. Very good. So how did you deal with the constipation? Do you have something that works for that?
I do. I use what has been working for me. And I take magnesium at night. I take 4 pills. I wish I had the bottle with me, but I take 4 pills of magnesium at night. That's the amount that's that's on the bottle. You take 4 of them at night, and I take 3 fiber gummies. And I take that every night, and when I wake up, I do what I gotta do every morning.
Every morning.
Every morning.
Wow, wow. Good
Yeah.
for you, good for you. Is it Mago 7? It's not Mago
No,
7?
not Mago
Okay.
7. I tell people all the time because I know some people take that every day. It doesn't, you shouldn't, it's a detox. You shouldn't take it every day. It's okay to take it a few days. I do take Mago 7, but I take it when I get those days that I haven't done nothing in a couple of days. Then I
Me
take
too.
Mago 7, and then after that, so I don't take Mago 7 daily. That's
I
just
don't need
that's my go-to when nothing is working. Then that's when I go to Mango 7.
Now, did you get to 12.5 milligrams? You've gotten there on your
I've got it
journey?
all the way up to 15.
15, okay. So when I got to 12.5 milligrams, which I've been on that for about 8 months, maybe more, and the constipation just after, I guess technically you should be going to the restroom every time you eat. So there's that, right? But we know most people, even not on this GLP-1, don't do that. They might go once a day. Well, I go once a day now that I'm taking that 12.5 milligrams. Well, before it would be like, 2 days I would have to go. And then if I didn't go after those 2 days, that's when I would take Mago 7. But I haven't needed to do that on 12.5. So I just wondered if you had that same effect with your when you were on 12.5.
I think it's probably just habits that you have adapted, that you have started doing in your life that you don't realize. And that's
Mhm.
doesn't have nothing to do, I believe, with the 12.5. I think it has something to do with what your intake. So maybe you're drinking more water, maybe you're eating more fiber now than you were eating on the other doses. And that's why you're more regular on the 12.5.
But
So
that's what I thought, but I'm doing the same thing because I do track what I'm doing. So I'm doing the same stuff, not really.
if you
Now I can't be 100% sure, but I did just notice a difference. I was like, "Geez Louise, I wonder what it is." Because I that's one thing about me is I eat the same thing. If I'm eating something different, it's like I'm going to a restaurant or I'm at somebody's house that I'm not normally at because I get the same stuff. I rinse and repeat.
Well, I think when I got to the higher doses, I did start experiencing different side effects that I did not experience on the lower doses. But constipation was kind of straight through all of them, but I had learned what worked for me. So that's why when I got to the higher doses, I was able to deal with constipation. So I tell anybody, if you have constipation, deal with it right away. So if you go one day and you don't go to the restroom, don't wait. Start taking whatever you need to take so that you can release yourself.
Yes. And we also wanna promote eating fiber, right? The fruits and veggies to get it in, right? Because if you're eating 25 to 35, that will help a lot. And then if you still aren't going, and then that's when those supplements kinda kick in. So what are you eating? Talk about supplements and fruits and fiber. What are you eating in your diet? Like, what is your diet
I
consist of?
Let me tell you, I eat the same thing for breakfast every single
What
day.
is it?
And it's very simple. It's very simple. I just eat 2 fried eggs. I use some Pam spray. Well, not, Pam, whatever, olive oil spray, okay? and I eat 2 fried eggs. I take 1 Velveeta cheese. I only 1 slice. I cut it in half, tear it in half and put that 1 slice on my 2 eggs. And then now I just, now I do the solar bagel. I eat that, but I just started doing that a few months ago. But that helps me get my fiber in. And then I have a cup of coffee. And that's what I eat every morning. Sometimes I eat it with the bagel, sometimes I eat it without the bagel. And that's all I eat for breakfast. And
So you never added a meat to the egg, so, like, have an egg and sausage or egg and something, you just
every
would eat the
now
eggs and cheese?
and then I would add me a sausage or whatever to it, but most of the time I don't have the time in the morning to even make the sausage unless I make the sausage the day before and just heat it up. But, my time is kind of, restricted in the morning, so I don't eat any sausages. I might do it on the weekend, but for the most part, I don't.
Okay, okay. And so have you been in a calorie deficit, counting
Yes.
calories? Okay.
'Cause I'm on Weight Watchers, so I use the Weight Watchers
Mhm.
app or whatever to track my food, but I don't have to track it all the time because I pretty much eat the same thing. So the only time I really focus on tracking is if I'm eating something different. And I know everybody can't eat the same thing like you and I, but I can literally, if it tastes good, I can eat it for a while before I need to switch it up. I
Oh,
wouldn't
me too.
switch it up, but I can eat the same thing for a while.
I was the Weight Watchers person. I know people were like, "Weight Watchers did us wrong. Weight Watchers steered us wrong. Weight Watchers said you made us feel like we were failures and this, that, and the other." But I do think Weight Watchers has like a lot of valuable strategies and just things you could do to help on your journey and tracking as well. Years ago when I was on Weight Watchers, I always wanted to know how many calories are these points. So I would take my points, whatever the points were, whatever the food I was eating, and I would give them calories. So I knew what the calorie range they would give me. I did love that about the whole Weight Watchers, the structure. I'm like a girl who loves some structure and organization. So you in a calorie deficit. How much protein are you getting in? Is your Weight Watchers focused on protein? Because I know they have some GLP-1 plans going on over there.
Yeah, okay, so one, to address the Weight Watchers issue, I know a lot of people, Weight Watchers, they did this to me. Weight Watchers didn't do nothing to y'all, period. Weight Watchers helped me and they helped y'all back in the day. It's not y'all fault y'all kept eating after you got to your points. I did it too, okay? They told you to go eat some fruit and vegetable for 0 points when you get hungry, but that was hard for us to do because we had that food noise and we were still hungry, you know?
Mhm.
But Weight Watchers has taught me so much. Even before I started this GLP-1, it taught me, I remember the things that I learned even in my 20s, like how to measure your meat with your hand and how to, how many servings of fruits and vegetables to eat and then when to stop eating. That's the thing I like. So Weight Watchers gave you that freedom. They like, okay, you want to go to McDonald's and get you a combo? Well, guess what? If you plug it in, now you can't eat nothing else for the rest of the day. But you know what? You learn that this is not a good decision because it
Yeah.
takes up all my points. Weight Watchers used to have a book for fast food restaurants. It taught me that some fast food restaurants, that's why I don't go to Burger King no more. Burger King is the highest points out of all the fast food places, so they let you eat a variety of food and make you not feel like you were in a box. So I think they give Weight Watchers a bad name, but Weight Watchers helped a lot of people. And when I tell you, when I lost my weight in the past at Weight Watchers, I never gained my weight back fast. Yes, I gained it back, but I didn't gain it back fast plus double like I did on the Atkins diet. I lost that weight, I gained that weight slowly because I had learned some good habits from
Yes.
Weight Watchers. So I think people try to put that blame on them, but it wasn't them, I don't believe. You know what I'm saying? It was habits that we had that Weight Watchers just couldn't fix, to be honest.
Exactly. And well, we know Weight Watchers can't fix a disease of obesity. It's not
Yep.
going to fix the food noise, right? The food noise is going to be there. It's basically how you manage it. And some people who didn't have the disease of obesity could manage it and it could be sustainable. And the ones of us that did, we just couldn't manage it. No matter now, I know no matter what I probably did on Weight Watchers, I couldn't sustain it because that food noise was going to be
The food
so
noise.
great.
It
So,
is.
yeah, I learned some great strategies, and again, I'm not against going to Weight Watchers, even if I maintain I'm one of those people, I'm gonna have to maintain it when I get to my goal with something, and Weight Watchers is definitely an option for me down the road as well, and I might even do it sooner than later.
But
So
but
thank you
answer
for
but to answer your question, Weight Watchers does have an app if you are on GLP-1 and it tells
Mhm.
you how much protein to get. I didn't necessarily like that because it wasn't telling me when to stop eating. And for me, that's what I needed. So I changed it back over to the regular app. And so I would just put it in there and it does tell you all your macros of how much protein, how much carbs, how much fiber, and everything else. And it gives you all of that on the app. So you could either have it on the GLP-1 app and it tells you how much protein to get, or you could put it on a regular app and it breaks down all the macros for you. And I try to get between 90 to 120 grams of protein a day. That's where I kind of stay at.
Okay, so that's my goal too, 90 to 120. And I'm gonna be honest, the only reason why I'm not at Weight Watchers right now is because it just doesn't fit into my schedule. So when I retire, I probably will be hitting them up because I'm one of those people that I also want to weigh in and I like the accountability. So anyway, food is such an important part. So people might be thinking, why are you guys talking about Weight Watchers and food? I don't care how much you exercise, you can't outwork a bad diet. You just can't. Exercise is great for all those benefits for your longevity and your health. But in order to lose weight and be successful on any weight loss journey, you're going to have to know how to eat. I just want to figure out what you're eating because if you're in maintenance, you have been doing something right. And not even in maintenance, the fact that you lost 116 pounds on Zepbound, you did something right. So I'm going to ask you this or that, and I want you to let us know what you're eating. So I'm going to give you two choices and go with which one you would prefer. Now, if you don't eat either, tell us you don't eat either, but tell us
Okay.
why. Okay. All right. So protein shake or protein bar?
Oh, I'm gonna go with the protein. Oh, that's hard. That's hard. That's hard. And I'm gonna tell you why that's hard. Because if it's the day after shot, after a shot day, Imma definitely pick the protein shake because I can't really, tolerate a lot in my stomach because I eat a chocolate protein shake. But if it's not the day after my shot, I'm going for the protein bar because I don't really drink the shakes when I'm feeling good because I don't need
Mhm.
them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I can eat food.
Okay. All
So
right.
that's why that's hard for me.
So protein bars have a place in your meal plan, snack plan.
Yes, I do eat protein bars. I will tell you that I do.
Okay. All right. I do too. I think I was just meeting with a dietitian and she was so impressed by my knowledge of protein bars. And I knew that it should have at least 20 grams of protein or more if you could get more. So I think that that's a good option. What about this one? Yogurt or cottage cheese?
Oh, that's easy. Yogurt. I can't stand cottage cheese.
Me either.
I
I'm
don't
not a
like
cottage cheese girl.
mm-mm.
Okay. All right. Very good. What about this with spinach or broccoli?
Spinach.
Going with the sweet me too, me too. Okay. What about rice or potatoes?
Oh, this is hard, but yet easy. Rice is one of my favorite foods growing up, but I always gain weight eating rice. So I'm gonna go with potatoes, which is also one of my favorites.
Oh, I love a good
Mhm.
potato. What about chicken or steak?
Chicken. I can't eat steak on this medication.
Really? Now, I don't eat beef. I haven't eaten beef in 15 to 20 years or pork. But why can't you eat the
I
steak?
have no idea. For my birthday, not I think it was last year, my girlfriend we went to this steakhouse. It was nice. I got a ribeye steak, and oh my gosh, I didn't even know that was my favorite till I found out it was my favorite. It was so juicy and good, and I I'm telling you, when I got home, I went straight to the bathroom. And at first I didn't know it was that until I ate steak again. And then it messed my stomach up again. And I was just like, you know what? It's the steak. So it's certain foods on this medication I cannot tolerate. And that's one of them.
Wow. Wow. Jeez Louise. All right. What about this one? Salmon or tuna? Salmon or tuna?
Imma go with tuna. I'm not a big salmon person, to be honest. I know it's good for you, but and I'll eat it, but it's not my favorite.
Okay. All right.
I
Okay.
used to date a guy, and he was a cook, and he used to make salmon everything. I was so sick of salmon. But, I would say tuna. I don't eat tuna. I really don't eat tuna. I really don't eat neither one of them, to be honest.
Okay.
But if I
Okay.
had to, I probably would pick tuna. If I had to pick something for the day, I would probably pick tuna over salmon.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Well, we have a couple more. What about oatmeal or cereal?
I don't eat neither one of them, but I would probably pick oatmeal if out of the 2.
Okay. So we know you're an egg girl, though, for that morning. You love those eggs.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Now, what about this one? Weight training or cardio?
Weight training for sure.
Weight trainer. Tell us why and tell us what you're doing because that was my next question. How often do you exercise and what are you doing?
I love weight training. I don't lift heavy. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't lift heavy, but I'm not good at cardio. My cardio sucks. Okay, but that's why I was about, I used to do kickboxing, I used to do regular boxing. So I always like that mixture. I never like to have no class where it's straight cardio. I am out of breath, I'm dying. Okay. So I like when you stop, do some weights, then maybe do a little cardio, but then do some weights again. That's what I like. Those the type of exercises. Even when I do workout videos, I always do something that has weights. So that's what I like. And so straight cardio, no, it's just not for me. I work out like 4 to 5 times a week. Like right behind me, I don't know if you all can see it. I got my walking pad. I get on the walking pad, and then I have my weights in here, little my dumbbells. I think the highest is maybe 15 pounds. And I do my dumbbells, do my workout videos, and that's pretty much it. I keep it simple. I don't go real hard, but I do work out consistently.
Okay. So we have a lot in common with the exercise because I feel the same way. I would rather do the weight training. I don't like to be jumping up and down. And you know what I used to love is Taibo because I love the kickboxing. Like if I can find a good kickboxing class, I am in there. That's what I'm gonna try to find this summer. Some place that has a kickboxing class because I think I would enjoy that and just incorporating the, weights and all of that. All right. So tell us, you got to maintenance. Is there like, how did you determine what your maintenance goal was? Did your doctor put you in maintenance? Did you decide you want to be in maintenance? How did you pick your weight goal? So tell us about that.
The weight goal was very difficult for me because I've been overweight my entire adult life. So I haven't been in the 100 since I was a kid. And I knew I wouldn't look the way I did as a, teenager. So I had no idea what weight I wanted to be. And it was people, I was like 220. And it would be family members that would tell me, hey, you lost enough weight. I'm like, I'm 225, 4. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like,
that's what people have been telling me. Like, how much more weight? I'm in the 220s. How much more weight do you want to lose? And I'm like, a lot.
let me tell you something. When somebody say that to you, that means you need to drop about 20, 30 more. Okay. Cause
Mhm.
all that means to me is you feel like I'm getting to a different level of fine, baby. That's all you saying. That's all you saying. So don't listen to that. You know how much you weigh. And if you 220 pounds and you 5'4", you know doggone well that ain't nobody goal weight unless they starting at 4. Okay? This how they go weight. Okay? So
Absolutely.
don't believe that. Don't believe that. So you gotta know it when you've been overweight for a very long time, it is difficult to figure out what your goal weight is gonna be. Sometimes you just gotta wait until you get to that weight. And then because one thing I noticed, now when I was a size 26, 28, I thought people that was a 14, I thought they were small. I really did. And so when I was a 26, 28, I thought I would be happy at a 14. And it wasn't until I got to a 14 that I realized a 14 was big. And so I was like, oh, that's why my friends who was a 14 wanted to lose weight because I couldn't understand it. I was like, "Why you wanna lose weight, girl? You look good." And I really meant it. You see what I'm
Right
saying?
there.
But
Mhm.
it was because I was so far from it. I was so far from it. So, once I got to that, I realized, okay, I do wanna lose a little more weight. And so even at this weight, I'm happy at the weight that I am. I just wanna tone my thighs up, and so I don't know what that looks like, and I wanna have some wiggle room. Because when you lose weight, you wanna give yourself 5 to 10 pounds because 'cause you're never gonna stay at one particular weight forever. You always gonna fluctuate between some pounds. So you wanna give yourself a few pounds when you get to maintenance so that you don't really freak out and, and you'll know when to reel yourself back in. So my doctor did not tell me a weight. He was telling
Okay.
me I got a new doctor, and he was trying to tell me, when he found out how big I used to be, he thought I should have been happy at 200. I should have just been grateful, you know? So I
Yeah.
wasn't listening to him. But I just listened to my body. And now at 160, my body is kind of happy here. And so I've been staying in between 160 and 165. So
So I love that though. I love how because a lot of people, I think, pick to go initially. Like, let's say my first thought was like 175 because I remember being there before, right? And I thought, okay, I can make it to that because I've been there before. And then I see when I was looking at the BMI chart, I thought, if I could get to 175, why can't I get to 149? Because I think between 145 and 149, I wanna be in the normal range. And that I think the highest of body percent that you could have to be at that normal range is 24%. And then I thought, can I really realistically get there? But I thought, why not go for it? Why not go for it? So I don't know where I will be. I was just joking around on my live stream the other day and I was saying, what if I get to 199 and I tell you guys I'm in maintenance? What would you say? And some of them were like, I would have to have a conversation with you outside of YouTube, and some people were saying, if you're happy there, that's where you should be. And
mhm.
so I think for a lot of people, when you get to a weight you didn't think you could get to, you're like, well, why not go down further? So I like how you're at 160. Now you're considered still overweight, but you don't care. You're like, I'm content with that. This is the weight my body is, this is where I want it to be. And I just love how you have the freedom to make that decision and you don't have like any regrets about it.
Yeah, 160 in my circle, baby. I'm fine as fine can get. Okay. So, and then some of the stuff is loose skin, to be honest. And I know I probably would be actually smaller than this. But it's nothing I can do about that. So when
So
it
let's
is,
talk about the loose skin because I think that's a fear of most of us and a reality of most of us. And when you see those, I don't know if you've ever looked on YouTube and you see some people with their showing all the hanging skin that they have. And you know that that's not healthy, right? So where are you at with the hanging skin? What have you done about the hanging skin? Have you done something to prevent it? Just fill us in because this is the reality of maintenance that people don't talk about.
yeah, and you know what? And it is a reality for a lot of us. I mean, some people can bounce back. And it just depends on your genetics. It depends on your age. It depends on how long you've been overweight. And so all that goes into account. So some people can lose 100 pounds and not need surgery. But then there's some of us like myself that do need surgery. And I was overweight for a lot of years, you guys, and I went up and down for a very long time. And so I was not nice to my body. And so when I lost all of this weight, even with the exercise, and because the first thing people want to say, well, did you exercise? Did you get all your protein in? Did you and people don't realize you can do all of the above and still have loose skin. And you may see those little commercials where somebody's skin hanging and they put some cream on and they tighten up. It's not true. That's not real life. Okay. So I had to get procedures done and I found out that, insurance will pay for that. And that should give you hope if you got a lot of weight to lose that, some of these things can be covered by insurance. So I did have a breast reduction and I did have a fleur de lis. So the insurance will pay if you lost over 100 pounds. Most insurance, I would say, will pay for you to get the bottom part, a peel, however you say it. They'll pay for that bottom part of your stomach because, you may have rashes, different, complications. And so, but they will not pay for a fleur de lis, which is what I got. So that means if you have extra skin at the top of your stomach. So my surgeon, he recommended that I get a fleur de lis if I really wanted the look that I, was desiring. And well, what he was desiring for me, because I was just like, only do what the insurance gonna pay for. That's it. And he was like, "No, I'm not gonna put my name on it if it's not gonna look right." And I'm
Yeah.
so glad that he had me do what he did because I've seen people who only got the bottom part done and they had a lot of loose skin at the top, and that's not the look that I would have wanted for myself, you know.
So you were able to get them both, the top and the bottom.
Yeah, the fleur de lis, they do it all at one time.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah,
I just wanna say here, if you follow my channel, you know I have a friend that's a plastic surgeon. It's a good one, and he came on my YouTube channel. One of the things he said was, first of all, you have to be a certain weight. So if it's a good surgeon, they're not gonna just perform surgery on you just to get your money or get the insurance company's money. You're a walking billboard for them, right? You're an advertisement, and they don't wanna do it. I think that that's important. When you're looking for a surgeon, you need to find somebody who really believes that. They want you healthy, but they also want you to look good, right? What good is that if you're getting a surgery, you're not looking good? Then you're just going to be back and wanting something else done.
I agree. I actually was on that live. That was
Oh, were
great.
you?
Yes, I was on that live. That was a great live, and I think if you are considering surgery, you should go back in her archives and look for that, video because it was very helpful to me. I learned a lot from watching that video.
Oh, good, good, good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have him come back too and talk because I think a lot of people are at the point in their journeys that where they might be considering something, and I just think it's important to really be informed. So, well, good for you. So, are you happy at where you're at with your body? I know you have another surgery you have scheduled. Tell us about that coming up this summer.
I'm having a brachioplasty done. That's my arms. And when I tell you I did not want to get my arms done, I did not want to get my arms done. But they just was so bad. And I was just constantly, I was wearing you know how you have a waist trainer for your waist? I had bought arm trimmers for my arms. And so in the summertime, I was constantly wearing my arm trimmers. And it was just so annoying, so everything because my skin would just hang and I was lifting the weights, I was trying to lift heavy and it just was not tightening up. And I knew my arms was going to be a problem because even before I started this medication and I was taking my boxing class, I had went to my boxing coach and I said, you have me lifting these heavy weights and I don't feel no muscles in my arms. And so he touched my I said, "I'm so soft." My body is just soft. Okay. I'm just soft. And so he touched my arms and he was like, "You know what? You do have loose skin." And this was at my heaviest. And so I knew that my arms was going to be an issue and that I wasn't going to be able to tighten them up. But I was hoping that they would look halfway decent, that I wouldn't have to get work done. But I am going to have to, get them done. So I am getting that done this summer.
Oh, wow. You're just a brave soul. I'm gonna have to live through you. Because I'm so fearful of all that. So gosh, but it's nice for people to see you go through it, you recover, you're doing well because that'll give the next person encouragement. So I thank you for sharing that with GLP-1 community.
I said, if I don't make if I don't make it, I want you to know that I don't regret it. This is something that I really wanted for myself. And I knew that this was the time to do it. I don't want to wait until I get older. I'm in good health. And if you are in good health and it's something that you really want to do, I'm not encouraging people to do it that don't want to do it. But if it's on your mind and it's something that's really bothering you about your body, it's okay to get stuff done. It's 2026. They got so many things that can help you. Why not take advantage of it? So that's how I look at life.
Yes, well, we're gonna put it out there. You're gonna be okay. God is gonna be with you, and you're gonna come out fabulous, even more fabulous as ever, and you'll be able to share your experience. So we love that. We love that. So we're putting good vibes out there for you. All
Thank
right. So what did you do with those clothes? Because you've gone down so many sizes.
I have a Poshmark, so some of the clothes I put on my Poshmark and I sold. I'm gonna put some more on there, and then some. I one day I did a live with my community and my glow up crew. That's what I call my subscribers, and I was just giving away clothes.
I saw that. I was on that live.
Yeah. I just opened up my closet and I just started giving clothes away. And then I mailed it out to people and everything else, just trying to get rid of them. Some I gave to the Salvation Army. Some of it I put on Poshmark, and then some I gave to my glow up crew.
Yeah, and I've done all those. Although I used to sell things on eBay, not Poshmark. But give me your link and then I'll put it in the description. So if anybody wants to go and support that or see if they can find some fabulous clothes, they can. Clothes are expensive. And I think if you can get some things that you hold you over to the next size, or if you got to that size and you just don't have a ton of money to spend, I think all these options are great for you to build up your wardrobe because, yeah, we got to look fabulous no matter what size we are.
I
All
agree.
right. So, like, any advice would you give to first of all, let me ask you really quick, because I think I would be doing a disservice if I didn't ask. How is maintenance different from active weight loss?
Um, Maintenance is different because now you don't have to worry about the calories. So I don't have to worry about being in a calorie deficit. I'm not constantly I don't think about the scale at all. Where before I used to always get on a scale. Oh, did I lose some weight? Oh, now I walk past I have a scale in both bathrooms. I walk right past it. I go in there. I'm not even tempted to get on the scale. I get on the scale because I'm going to do my update video, but I'm not a slave to the scale anymore. And then when I see the weight on there, I'm content. Even when I go up a couple of pounds, I'm not stressing about it. Um, and it just feels good, because I've learned so many great habits over the years. And so I don't feel like I'm on a diet. I just changed the way I eat. So I just try to live a healthy lifestyle that I plan to do for the rest of my days. And I think maintenance will be easier for you when you make those changes, because if you feel like you're on a diet, I'm not, a diet is just what you eat. But if you feel like you're
Mhm.
restricting yourself to lose the weight, then in your mind, you're saying, once I get to maintenance, now I'm going to eat all the food that I could not eat before. So
Right.
if you eat a balance, if you had that balance during your weight loss, then maintenance is no difference. You just get to add more calories and you get to eat more than what you did during your weight loss journey. So that was a little harder for me though, because when you're on a medication, you can't eat as much. And so I extended my shot. I was taking my shot every 2 weeks, and now I'm taking it once a month. So I did have to get used to that and get my body used to that. But once I got used to that, then I was doing okay. But it's a difference. It's good and bad with it. Just learning that you're not on a diet, that you're not trying to lose weight anymore, and that you do have the freedom to eat more calories, but you still need to be aware of what you're consuming.
Let me take you back to something you said before. You said that you lost slow and steady, slower, and you lost about 6 pounds a month. You know, people are losing 10, 12. So I think that's really good, right? And then you said, so I wondered if you were eating, did you still have like some cookies or treats here and there? Or were you just one of those people that you cut everything out that wasn't considered healthy? Or did you still eat like chips sometimes or a piece of cake or things like that?
Not really. What I did was I would eat chips, but if I had chips, it was protein chips. If I had ice cream, it's yeso or yeso, however you say it. I would eat
Mhm.
that. So I substitute all the type of foods that I like for healthier choices. And those are the same things that I eat to this day. So no, I don't go, and I mean, I'm not saying I can't have a cookie, but that's not my go-to. I was sitting there like, "Oh, I wanna use my calories to eat some cookies." I was
Right.
looking for a better option, and my mindset was so different. This medication helped me in ways that I noticed it doesn't help everybody, but for me, it was a mind shift. It has really changed my whole way of thinking. And so I don't look at it like some people who say, "Hey, I don't want to be deprived of certain foods." I don't feel that way. I have eaten whatever I wanted to eat for so many years, and it got me to 300 and something pounds. And
Yeah.
and I ate what I wanted to eat. I was at Coney Island eating the Coney dog at 1 o'clock in the morning. And my mother was looking at me like, "Tori, you shouldn't eat that kind of, don't tell me what to, don't tell me what to do. I can eat what I want to eat." And guess what?
Right.
Them hips got bigger, them thighs got bigger, and I was stretching my body out. And so I had to ask myself, are you still gonna have that same mindset that you just gotta eat what you know? Now I try to make better decisions. I still eat foods I like, but I eat healthier versions of that.
Version of it.
We
Yeah.
all are getting older. We need to be eating healthy stuff anyway. You 40 and up, you don't need to be sitting at home eating a box of cookies anyway. It's not good for your health.
Yeah.
We can't eat like we did in our 20s, unfortunately, because it just caused health problems. So for that reason alone, changed my mindset.
Yeah, and I think that's great, and I can relate more to that. Now, I have some friends that are help that even won't even eat ice cream, like a substitute ice cream, or they won't eat the protein chips, or they think all that needs to go. They won't eat any processed anything. They only eat whole foods. So it's levels to this. I think it's
Yeah.
levels to the healthy eating because I feel like what you're saying and what I do is kind of like maybe in the middle, right? And then you have the people that are extreme that they don't even understand why I'm eating protein bars and drinking protein shakes. So, it's like I said, I think it's levels to that. Maybe one day I will get to the point where I'm totally only eating whole foods. Maybe, I never say never because I might get to that mindset where I'm like, I'm not putting anything in my body that's not considered totally whole foods and healthy. So there's that. We have to talk about that another time.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm not the type of person to judge nobody on either side of the fence. If you want to be the person to eat your cookies, eat them. That's on you. That's your body. Only person body I'm concerned about, I'm gonna be real honest, and I might seem selfish or whatever. I only care about me, y'all. Me, my body, what I consume. If you eating cookies, I don't feel no type of way either way. If you eating whole foods and eating the best in the world, I don't feel no type of way because I'm in control of me and you in control of you. I think so many people worrying about other people. If you put that energy on yourself, you accomplish everything you want to accomplish for you. You know?
Jeez, thank you. Let's say it again for the people in the back. I agree. I agree. I totally agree. I think, worry about yourself and what you're doing. And not for nothing. To me, you could say it even more so than me because I'm not in maintenance. So who am I to go around and telling people what they should do, how they should do it? Okay, so let me ask you if you could give advice to any newbie starting this GLP-1 journey, what would it be? What would you tell them?
I would tell them to have realistic goals and that it's okay to lose slow and it will add up. Do not compare yourself to others, even as hard as it is not to compare yourself to other people. But try hard not to compare yourself to others. Try to eat, try to get that protein in. I know everybody say protein, protein, but at the end of the day, it is very important and try to get the fiber in as much as possible. And do not wait until the side effects get bad to do something about it. And if you are having issues, don't always just rely on the internet for your answers. Make sure you are communicating with your doctor and let them know the issues that you having so that it won't turn into a serious problem. And that's what I would tell somebody.
I love that you brought up the doctor because even when people, send me comments or people email me and asking me, advice, I always make sure I put that talk to your doctor, or I'll say, "Did you talk to your doctor about this?" Because I think that's so important because, only your doctor is gonna know, like, all that's going on with your body and your health history. If you have one, if you don't have one, rush and run and go get one because I think everyone needs that on, any health journey, no matter yeah, at this point, everybody needs one just not for nothing because there's so much out here going on, that you can get, not even related to, weight loss, but, everyone should just have a primary doctor. I'm a strong believer in that. So if you can get one, please get one and do preventative maintenance. Don't just wait till something goes wrong. I think that's important too. So thank you for that. So let me ask you, what's a word that would describe yourself? What's the word that you would use to describe yourself before you started taking Zepbound? Like where you were at in your life. What's a word that would describe where you were?
Um, Frustrated.
First, why'd you say that?
Because I had been doing all the things that I thought I could do and that I was capable of doing, and I just could not achieve my fitness goals. And that was the one thing in my life that I just couldn't do. And so no matter how hard I tried, no matter what I was doing, I just could not make good choices when it came to the food. And even when I did make good choices, I felt like I still was not losing weight. And so I had struggles with that. And with me having to lose so much weight, it would become discouraging when you losing 5 pounds in a year and you got 95 more to go. That's it was just very discouraging when it came to my health.
Absolutely. I can relate to that 110%. So not for nothing. How would you describe yourself now? Now that you have, gotten the maintenance, you've met your goal, you're working on your body, you're feeling more confident, I can tell. So what word would describe you now?
I would say I'm determined. You know, I'm just I'm just constantly the what's keep me going is that every day I want to be better than I was yesterday. So that's how I live life. So I feel like if you haven't seen me in 3, 4 months, guess what? I'm gonna look better than the last time you seen me. Every time you see me, I'm gonna look better than the last time you see me. And the reason why is because I'm working on myself every day. I'm working on myself every day. And I tell people all the time, don't get jealous of me because everything I'm doing, you can do it
You
too.
can do it too.
And I
Yeah.
show people every day what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. And I tell them you could jump on the bandwagon or get left behind because I'm going to keep moving back. I'm going
I
to keep
know that's
moving.
right. That's that Detroit flair you got going on. I love it. I love it. Okay, so let me ask you this because I wonder about this about you say you're determined and I can see it. Are there ever a time where you wanted to give up on this journey, this Zepbound journey? Was there ever a time where you just was like, this is not working fast enough? Or did you got discouraged with your weight loss or your health goals? Did you have any of that? Any times that happened?
It was times I got discouraged with this medication, but it was because of different reasons. Um, when I was on this medication in the beginning, I went through the shortage where it was very difficult to get the medication. And so I would have to call so many different places just to get my medication every week every month, I should say, and then going through the stuff that I had all the loopholes that I had to go through with the insurance. So I used to be covered by the insurance, then I lost my coverage with the GLP-1 with my insurance. I had to do so much different paperwork, and it made me want to give up, like forget it. Then I had to start paying out of pocket. Then I had to try to figure out how I'm going to pay out of pocket. How am I gonna get the medication? So it was a lot of things that I went through to stay on this medication. But it was because I was so determined that every time an obstacle came up, I didn't throw in the towel. I was like, okay, well, let me see what I gotta do. Let me see, okay, well, let me add this or let me extend my shot. Let me do this. So I did whatever I had to do to make sure I lost this weight. So I think those
Wow.
were my obstacles on this medication. It was never an obstacle for me that I felt like I wanted to stop because I wasn't losing enough. anything was enough for me.
Yeah. Is there something you would do different if you could start your journey over?
The only thing I don't know that I would do different. I mean, I could say that I would stay on the dose a little longer, but I really couldn't do that either because my insurance, the way it was set up, I had to titrate up every month, and my doctor made me titrate up every month. So if I had, so I wouldn't pick that. So I think the only thing I would have done differently is maybe the protein. People were saying protein, 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 and I was just like, why they keep? Because they would never tell you why. They just,
Yeah.
"You need a lot of protein. You need," and I'm like, "Well, why I need a lot?" So I didn't know the importance of the protein, so I wasn't really paying attention to that in the beginning. And I know that I did lose some muscle in the beginning of my journey because I couldn't eat. And I did feel myself getting weaker. So if I could do it all over again, I definitely would have made sure I was lifting heavy in the beginning and that I did put more focus on the protein.
Now, have you ever had a DEXA scan or an InBody scan or a scan to see where your muscle mass is? So you're not into that?
No, I think I might get it done after I get all this loose skin off of it.
Okay. Okay. I wanna see your DEXA scan. I wanna run over to your channel and click. I wanna see
Yes,
what her DEXA scan is
it, bet
showing.
it better be real good because I'll be like, I don't have no fat on me. So what is my DEXA scan?
Now, I've
I don't
had
know.
2 with a bunch of fat. I mean, I don't think people really realize and, I've lost a little bit of visceral fat and, it's like, not all bad. But I don't think people realize, like, putting yourself out there and showing that like, I never told people how much I weighed until I started this YouTube channel. Like, no one knew. I was like you. I didn't really tell anybody. It's like, you can guess. People probably would have never guessed I was over 300 because I always would, be pretty much put together. But yeah, it's just gosh, that's it's just you're sharing a lot of information about yourself. So, I just ask that because I know you're into, recapping your body and all that. And I just think that that's a icing on the cake for you, even if you don't share it with YouTube and just have that information for yourself. So that's why I ask. Well, we're going to play a quick little game and then we're going to talk about your YouTube channel and then we're out of here. I'm gonna say a word, and I want you to tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. Don't think about it too much, Miss Toy.
So you know
What
I'm a
about
first grade teacher, so my words are gonna be real simple.
That's okay, that's okay, we'll take it.
Okay.
Okay, so the first word is Zepbound.
Oh, it's only could be one word that I could use?
Maybe 2.
Okay, life changing.
Life changer, okay, I'll take it. What about the gym?
Necessary.
Necessary, okay, alright. What about those home gyms? You talking about the home gym too?
Yeah,
Or just going to the gym?
I'll put both of them together.
Both of them together, okay, alright. What about compounds?
Um, uh, a good word for compound, I would say savior.
Savior. Oh, okay,
Mhm.
good, good. Strength training.
Powerful.
Cardio.
Exhausting.
Maintenance.
Um, let me think of a word for maintenance. I have it in my head what I want to say, but I can't think of the word. But maintenance is like, I'll say a different level. I know I only supposed to say one word, but I'm just gonna say a different level.
It's hearing what you said before. Is it more difficult than the weight loss journey? I know it's
It's just,
different, but is it more
it's
difficult?
just different. I feel like maintenance is now the rest of your life. So I feel like when weight loss, you know the goal, hey, but maintenance is a different level. This is something now you need to maintain for the rest of your days. And so it's
Mhm.
just a different level, it's just a different mindset and everything else. Now you're looking for the rest of your life. It's no
Yeah.
end goal until you
No end goal.
expire, you know?
Yeah, I think that's how I picture maintenance as no end goal. It's just you're just on a journey, right? Yeah, I think people don't like the word journey because it's so overused. But when you think about the meaning of it, I think it's a great way to describe what we're doing, what you're doing. All right, what about your future?
Promising.
I love that. I love that. Family,
Everything.
everything. And finally, what do you think of when you hear YouTube? What word describes YouTube?
Informational.
Informational. All right. So, Miss Toy, tell us about your YouTube channel. Tell us what made you decide to share your journey with Zepbound.
Okay, that's a great question. So I have been making videos in my phone during my entire journey, but I was scared to post them. And I would literally just watch my own update videos. As crazy as that sound, I would do update videos in my phone and I would watch them. I would watch the videos myself every week, everything else. I'm still my biggest fan. I'm telling you, I'm my biggest fan. And so, um, but I was scared to post them because I wasn't telling anybody that I was even on this journey. But then it got to a point. So on my page, I used to just do reviews of products and reviews of different things I was doing because I love reviewing things. And so I was scared to post. And so something just was like, you should post, you should share it. Because so many content creators were sharing with me. And that's how I learned so much information. So I still thought about it for a while, and it was like God was really talking to me like, "You could really help somebody." And I wanted to help other people just like they was helping me, and so June of last year is when I put out my first video, sharing my journey, about, my weight loss. At that time, I think I had lost maybe 90 pounds, 80 or 90 pounds at that point, and that's when I started sharing my journey on YouTube.
Wow, I love that. So tell us what can we expect over on your channel?
On my channel, that's why I call my subscribers the Glow Up Crew. I'm just all about bettering ourselves, and I'm sharing that on YouTube. So it's not just about the weight, it's everything. And so as you lose weight, you're going to realize that it's other things about yourself that you need to work on as well. And so I kind of encourage the people at my channel to just look good overall, inside and out. And so I do a lot of things about aging gracefully, about just working out and eating right. And well, I'm not going to say eating right, but just making better decisions. Because, like you said, I'm not always making the best decision, but I'm just better than what I was. And
Yeah.
so, all I try to encourage my subscribers is just be better than what you were yesterday, and whatever that looks like. And then all our journeys look different. And it's okay to look different. It's no judgment. My channel is a judge free zone. And all I'm about is just making you better as I'm getting better. And that's what my channel is all about.
All right, so tell us the name of your channel so we can go over and support you. I want you guys to subscribe to Miss Toy. What's your channel name?
This toy to review.
A link to Miss Toy's YouTube channel will be in the description of this video. Thank you so much for joining me for an interview. I enjoyed talking to you. I think you are just so funny. You tickle me. You make me laugh. And I just sing this song, Miss Toy, Miss Toy. She's got it. She's got it. Miss Toy, Miss Toy. She's got it. She's got it. Now, two things we have in common. One, you already know we were teachers. I just got to support my teachers because I just know what a tough job this is. And I just appreciate the sacrifice because it really is a sacrifice. People don't really consider it a sacrifice. Your life is on the line, even in schools nowadays. I just appreciate your teachers. And then I have family from Detroit. You got that Detroit energy. I sound just like my cousin. And she still lives in Detroit. You remind me a lot of her. And she is no nonsense, too.
You need to come and visit. If
I
you
know.
come
That's
and
what I told
visit,
you.
please
I
call me.
Yes, I'm gonna come to Detroit. When I do come and visit and hang out, I'm definitely gonna call you up. We have to get together. So keep doing what you're doing. You are making us smile and laugh and just giving us some great tips on self-care. I think that's so important, especially as we age as women. And even not for nothing, the men can learn some things from us too. Thank you for stopping in and take care of yourself. And I'm going to be praying for you this summer to get your body to where you want it to be. So I'm rooting for you with that too.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. I really enjoyed this interview and this time with you. So thank you so very much.
Absolutely. Thank you. Well, have a great day.
You too.
Bye.